belief that what we've proposed today doesn't just follow through on what the president promised on the campaign trail for the sake of following through on it. It also would put our country on a new track towards more domestic production of energy, towards more renewable energy use, and towards creating jobs of the future.
If you're willing to set deadlines for other legislation, will you set a deadline for getting cap and trade passed?
I don't have a deadline for you today. I just know the president wants to move forward on this as fast as possible. Savannah?
Given that you guys haven't considered the politics at all with this, is it possible there was a strategic blunder here by conceding so much, doing offshore drilling? You've announced new grants for nuclear reactors without getting any concessions from Republicans. You didn't have any Republicans standing up there with the president today. Is it possible that you've kind of given away the store without any guarantees that you'll get Republican support in exchange for that?
Well, I'd start by saying that actually Senator McConnell's spokesperson's statement was very encouraging, that this was an issue that he had brought up specifically with the president, and that we believe that we'll be able to work with Republicans on. But also, like I said, none of this should have been a surprise to anybody. We've been talking about all these different elements for a very long time, and the president is following through on promises that he made to have a comprehensive energy strategy. So in terms of the politics of this, we think that there are good things in this package that appeal to people of all political persuasions, and that in the short term, not the long term, we're going to be able to move forward and pass some of this into law.
A statement which I just read, actually, since you mentioned that, kind of frames it as a small step. All the Republican statements say you have kind of a lukewarm response to it. Will the president get involved as closely as he was by the end of health care? Did he learn something from the health care debate that he plans to use in this debate?
Well, I would say for starters, I don't think there's anybody who anticipated that the president would roll out an energy plan and people on the Republican side would be cheerleading it right from the get-go. But if you saw what happened over the course of the health care debate, where you had senators saying that this would be the president's Waterloo, stop this at all costs, this is the way that we can halt the agenda of the president, I think even lukewarm statements are a step in the right direction. Mark.
Bill, to what extent is the administration joining the chorus of those who chant "drill, baby, drill"?
Well, I would say that this comprehensive approach is a lot less drill, baby, drill, and more drill where it's responsible, promote efficiency, invest in clean energy, and create jobs of the future. I know that doesn't fit on a T-shirt quite as well, but that's a lot more about what President Obama thinks is the right direction for this country.
And is it the plan to expand oil and gas leases throughout the Atlantic Ocean? I read a figure, 160 million acres of ocean would be available for new oil and gas drilling.
I don't have the specifics on the acreage. I think there's actually a call happening right now that some of your colleagues are on where they're going through some of those particulars. Roger?
Bill, looking ahead to Friday, the jobs report comes out, as you know, and the president's going to be down in North Carolina. The analysts so far seem to suggest that this will be showing job creation for the second time since the recession started. Does that suggest that the White House will stop now and offer any more jobs plans, or are you going to kind of lay back and let things take hold and see where it goes?
Well, unless the jobs report comes back and says that we've created 8.5 million jobs in this last month, the president's going to create this jobs report the same way he's treated all the rest of them, which is to say that we've got a lot more work to do. And there's analysts across the spectrum who have different views of what the jobs report is going to say, and I know there's different factors that will play into this specific one. Last month there was the huge snowstorm, and this month we might see some of the reverse effects of that. I've seen reports that the Census Bureau has hired thousands of folks. So there's a lot of different factors that we'll see in this jobs report. But the president is committed to putting the American people back to work and keeping this economy on track. And the jobs report that comes out on Friday is just going to be one set of data, but it's not necessarily going to mean the president is going to change course when it comes to doing everything that he can to move through some of the ideas that he's put forth on helping small businesses, helping big businesses, helping everybody who's hiring that he can to create an environment where people can create jobs.
So you're leaving the door open for another jobs creation package at some point if needed.
Well, keep in mind that some of the things that the president has talked about, even as recently as December, have not come to a vote, haven't been passed, and so some of his jobs ideas are still out there, including some of the things to, since this is Energy Day, but to make homes more efficient and give people credits to retrofit their own houses and that sort of thing. So the president is still very much focused on creating.
Just minor housekeeping question. Will the first family's tax returns be released either Friday or over the weekend?
I don't know the timing on that, but they're generally released and they'll be out sooner than you think. I don't have a date for you. Lester?
Thank you very much, and thank
You
you
have to
for
raise
your
your
very crisp answers.
I'll do it.
Does the president believe that the Holy Father has been fairly treated by the New York Times and the Washington Post?
It's not something I've spoken with him about. I'll see what I can find out.
You will? Good. Why does the president believe that it is fair to bar all private school children from the Easter egg roll, including scholarship students at Sidwell Friends?
I'm not familiar with Easter egg roll policy, but I would direct you to the...
You must be aware of the announcement.
Like I said, I'm not fully familiar with the Easter egg roll policy. I appreciate the question, but you should direct it to the East. No, I would direct you to the East Wing, where they know a little more about it. April?
Yes, today is March 31st, the deadline for the Black Farmers 1.25 congressional approval for the settlement. Robert was supposed to come back with information about if the president supported an extension, because we understand that CBC members as well as the Black Farmers were looking for an extension. Do you have any information about if the president supports an extension to this deadline after 15 years of their wait?
I checked in with Ledge Affairs after you asked that question yesterday, and they told me that they are, in fact, working with Congress with some urgency to get this done as fast as possible. I don't have any specific timing for you, but this is something that they're working to make progress on to make sure that we get this done.
It happened today, but you mean that they could possibly use the extension? I mean, because today's the deadline and they're not there.
Well, not knowing the particulars of the specific settlement, I'm letting you know that the legislative team is working to get this done as fast as possible.
This as well. Since they have been waiting for 15 years in this Pig for 2 case, the Black Farmers want to know if they can meet with the president, especially after he announced it in his 2011 budget and put out a paper saying he strongly supports it. And they wanted to know if they could sit down and talk to the president to push more so this administration to make it happen, you know, since they waited 15 years.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a meeting in the works. I can certainly check on it, but I don't know that that's in the
Is
works.
this administration open to meeting with them at least?
I haven't spoken with anybody on that, so I don't know. Bill?
Bill, you said a couple of times already today that the president's policy is to drill where it's responsible. So far, I've only heard about Virginia. But can you give us an idea of other places where the administration believes it's responsible to drill?
Well, some of the other areas that were talked about in the reports today are up on the northern coast of Alaska, down in the Gulf region, areas like that.
Are there any plans for drilling off the coast of California?
That is not a part of this.
Out of consideration?
I can't speak to the entire rest of this administration, but I can tell you that it's not a part of the president's energy plan. Sam?
I'm sorry if this already been mentioned, but to what extent was this discussed with Democratic leaders on the Hill before it was rolled out today?
I mean, we speak with Democratic leaders on the Hill every day, and
They were well aware this was coming. I mean, have you taken the temperature of Democrats on the Hill?
I assume that has happened. We talk to Democratic leaders every day. It wasn't a secret that our energy policy was coming out. Folks got a heads up that it was happening, and you know, obviously the president has a very close relationship with Speaker Pelosi and Leader Reid, and it's of course one of the things that they do talk about from time to time. Ann?
On the west coast of Florida, when you're talking about the eastern part of the Gulf of Mexico, he says that he would, if the ban were to be lifted, that he'd like to see more exploration there. Will the president ask Congress to lift the ban?
Well,